put the kettle on. It's time for some F&T. Here's your host, Kirsten Gentle.
Welcome to FT&A's F&T Time, a podcast and video series aimed at keeping the industry connected and updated. Welcome to the final episode of F&T Time for 2024. As we close another remarkable year, we're taking the opportunity to reflect on the key engineering and technical challenges that have shaped our industry over the past 12 months. This episode will shine a spotlight on the vital role offsite prefabrication has played, supported by the unwavering expertise of our amazing professionals from MiTek, Multinail and Pryda. Nail plate companies don't just provide metal connectors, they deliver advanced engineering software that ensures prefabricated timber frames and trusses are designed to meet the highest standards of quality and compliance with Australian regulations. Whether it's tackling tricky engineering requirements, helping builders redesign projects to save costs, or maximising structural capabilities, their support is absolutely pivotal for our sector. They say engineers are the wizards of the modern world, armed with pencils, calculators and an incomprehensible love of spreadsheets. Hand them an unsolvable problem, a napkin and a decent cup of coffee, and they'll materialise hours later with a solution so ingenious it makes you wonder if they've secretly had access to a time machine. Of course, their explanation might leave you nodding vigorously while your brain quietly asks, wait, what? What's shear stress again? But that's the charm of our engineers. Engineers thrive behind the curtain, making sure everything stands up. Without them, we'd be left redefining level and secure with duct tape and good intentions. Whether they're crafting flowcharts that would make an artist weep or turning equations into realities, engineers are the unsung heroes within making modern life possible and occasionally baffling us with their brilliance. To wrap up an exceptional year, we are excited to welcome three engineers from the frame and truss industry: Varun, Bharti of MiTek, Zhang of Multinail, and Cui of Pryda. These experts and their amazing teams have played critical roles in addressing complex challenges faced by manufacturers and builders, bringing innovative solutions and invaluable experience to the table. Today, they are joining us to share their standout insights and experiences from 24, shedding light on the advancements and lessons that have shaped the industry this year. Please join me in welcoming the three engineers, Varun, David and Nick. So, Varun, can I start with you? It's been a significant year. Are there one or two technical engineering issues that have stood out, and how have you helped the fabricators or the manufacturers resolve these challenges?
Oh, wow. I thought this was going to be an easy question, an easy answer. It's not.
Well, all I know is that the fabricators really lean on the amazing support from the nail plate companies and their engineers. So, what's a couple of examples maybe where you've helped them out?
Yeah, I wouldn't say they are issues or problems. I would say they are challenges which we face in our industry on day-to-day basis. And we know that the supply chains have moved and changed and shifted. They're very dynamic in nature at this point of time. So there are lots of engineered wood products which keep on coming in the industry. And the challenge is for us to stay on top of what we can use and how we can use it. So yes, our fabricators did have those challenges with a lot of LVLs, finger jointed products, and different kind of structural timber coming into the industry. It's certainly a challenging thing to figure out where you can use it and where you cannot. So I would say there's one thing which our industry can possibly do better in the supply chain is to nominate when a new product enters the industry, what's the fit for purpose use of the product? Now, we know that of all the engineered wood products, or we may call them LVLs, glue lamps in the common language, um, not all of them are suitable for all applications. What I mean by that? Uh, some of the products are good to be used in wall frames. Others are better used in roof trusses. There are still others which are better used in floor systems. So when a new product hits the industry, we rarely find a clear recommendation on where it should be used and where it should certainly not be used. So when those products are graded, stress graded, or whatever you call them, they are mostly called F7s, F5s, F8s, F17s, and so on and so forth. The assumption which our fabricators make is that wherever we design for a, say, F17 as per our design standards, we can put this new product in that place. That's not always true. So the challenge which we had this year was to navigate through those products and to find out where they cannot be used, and then collaborate with the supply chain and the fabricators to develop some of those recommendations as to what's the right thing to do.
And I think you hit it there, Varun, that the message is fabricators must make sure the timber they're using is in the software, and you just don't put the timber in there, you all do testing. So it's really important for them to understand that, isn't it?
Absolutely. So there's a reason why there's only a limited list of timber in our softwares, simply because they have been trialed and tested and they have been reviewed thoroughly for their properties. Now, there are a number of the three major ways how you can address this situation. One is you certainly trust what's in your software and you go by that. But if you are pushed to, or you are kind of constrained by the supply chain and you want to use a new product, then potentially use your supplier. What's the fit for purpose application of that particular product? Can I use it in my roof trusses? Should I only use it in the wall frames? Those are the questions which the fabricator potentially should ask and must ask from the supplier. And the suppliers, in return, may facilitate that by possibly branding or publishing what's the fit for purpose application of the new product.
Yep.
So that's my take on it.
Fantastic. Well, as I said, it is really important. And I think the fact that the nail plate companies have so many structural engineers there to help them, I think that's an part that puts us apart from the typical carpenters. You know, they don't have everyone to lean on like our fabricators do. So, Nick, can you provide an example of a unique issue or you help the manufacturer address it, like something that they don't encounter every day, but they couldn't have done it without your support?
Yeah, thanks, Kirsten. Firstly, your introduction on the areas and the services that our various engineering departments are involved in on a day-to-day basis is absolutely spot on. We touch so many different aspects, not just with the software, but with our customers as well. So one of the areas that we are seeing more requests from our customers is to start helping them a lot more with solutions with architecturally designed facades, or similar features that are designed in buildings, particularly residential or townhouse buildings. So this is an aspect that we have been involved with in the past to sort of varying degrees, but it's definitely something we're seeing a lot more common with the way the architects are designing, as I said, residential buildings and townhouses these days.
What's the difference, Nick?
Well, the difference is we're not building straightforward boxes with a hip or gable roof anymore. Yep. So leading on to that, so the actual final look and the aesthetics of the buildings are starting to change. A lot of the times, these are definitely well documented on the architectural plans. So builders, they're starting to look towards the fabricators to solve these framing issues and how to construct them, in a more cost-effective way. A lot of the times, the support and engineering components in order to construct these features are often not included in the structural drawings. So other times when they are documented by the consulting engineer, the solution can be overly complex. They can be very time consuming to install and construct, and often they end up very, very costly to the builder. Hence why they're sort of coming back to the truss and frame fabricator to say, what can you offer us as a prefabricated solution?
And then the manufacturer comes to you engineers to say, hey, I've told them I've got a solution. What can we do?
Yes. So we do frames and roof trusses and floor trusses very well, but facades are a completely different story sometimes. So we provide support by looking at ways to leverage the existing truss and frame design. So this could be either trying to incorporate that facade or the feature wherever possible. This can often include parapet features as well. So a lot of the times you might see these features which stick out beyond the actual framing of the frame or the floor or the roof. So this could involve sometimes cantilevering the roof or floor system to both form and help support these features. Sometimes it requires reconfiguration or just basically completely revamping or relaying out the whole framing systems. Other times it may be reconfiguration or just looking at different innovative ways to actually construct the facade or the feature. Sometimes it may involve a portalized or a non-portalized framing system in conjunction with the roof or floor system. So it all depends on what the actual look and how we're going to support this, the facade at the front of the building. Ultimately, the desired outcome is something that the fabricator can manufacture as a prefabricated solution, be able to supply to the site in the most cost-effective manner. And of course, it's got to be simple to implement and construct on site for the builder.
It sounds simple, but it's not, is it?
Absolutely.
So, David, as we've just heard, the fabricators or manufacturers the builders are coming back to them more often. Do you think the builders understand that our sector can solve those engineering issues and that's why they're coming back to the manufacturer? And can you give me an example of where you've assisted a builder, with a technical issue, maybe on site?
Yeah, definitely. So for those builders who actually tried and had a successful outcome, they know we do exist, because there's a kind of myth in the industry is like, who is backing up those fabricators? Are they just making them up in the software, or they do have a bunch of engineer gurus behind to give them solutions? I think the answers now is very obviously like the fabricators do have the support from the 3Now play companies, and not only just for the software side, but also for the engineering design side as well, because we're all structural engineers. We're all qualified structural engineers as a professional. A lot of time, I think the complex designs is the one of the case they coming to us for help, like Nick mentioned, or if they do want this to be happen from the architectural plan, but the builder doesn't have the solution, someone have to provide a result to them. It all comes to us. Because believe or not, a lot of time they will just crossed off, just say on the plane by the manufacturer, right? So the manufacturer have to cope with that comment. This is one reason we do exist and we do help out. We would like to engage with the builder, that particular builder. If possible, we would also like to engage with the project engineer or the architect as well, just to telling them, hey, look, this is something we can provide, but however, this is something we may not be able to because you're pushing the limit too hard, and find a common ground and give them the solution. So due to the changes of the designs, the changes of the buildings in these days, we figured out is more and more customer homes rather than the volume homes. So for the volume home scenarios, people would like to make it more efficient. So we're dealing with the builder and telling them, hey, if we can give you this particular method, maybe it will help the fabricator to produce a bit quicker and more efficient, and then can eliminate some the fixings you don't like on site, because it can be very organized and prefabricated in the factory environment. But for those custom homes, they not only looking for the efficiency, but also for something in particular. For example, Nick mentioned the facade, and something else will be, architect cannot put a very big cantilever section, all right, or there's no columns involved. What can we do? So that would be the area we step in. And we also may end up with something totally got no involvement of a nail plate, believe it or not. We become the timber engineer. We become a real structural engineer and say, hey, look, maybe this steel beam, we don't need it, right? We can, push more timber into this project, and we can utilize your wall frames. And instead of being a load bearing, we can also turn that into a bracing. Such small example like this, trying to help not only the fabricator, but also the builder on site as well. Yeah.
I was blown away when we had a recent meeting in HIA in Western Australia. And when I talked about the fact that engineered software, I had builders come up going, sorry, what do you mean it's engineered? Do we not need somebody to come out and certify the structural products after it's built? And I go, no, you don't. It's engineered software. And they were blown away by that, being the industry isn't as big over there. So I think that it does go a lot under. They don't recognise how much we can actually do as an industry, which I think is really good. So tell me, boys, 2025, first rate cut. We're going to start to see the market pick up. It's going to be, no more of this bust. We're going to see a great, robust market. What's your views, Varun? What do you think we're looking forward to in 2025?
Drop the interest rates.
That's what we want.
I know that there's a big target for us, our industry, especially if we talk about the residential industry. It's a big target which has been set by state governments around the housing. And with the way housing industry is growing, it's not exactly sunny side up, but it is just. But it's not pessimistic either. It's just traveling steady. So hopefully, if we can do something to speed up the building processes, that would really help our industry to deliver more housing. And potentially, the way to go there is increase our panelization. We are already a panelization industry. We do flow cassettes, we do floor systems, we do roof trusses, already panelized systems. We do wall frames, panelization. What we need to do is probably increase in the panelization in the industry and go a step further and have incremental panelization and see if we can help the builder on the far end to build quicker. So some of the things which the builder does, for example, putting the vapor barrier on your wall frames on site. Is it possible for us to just do it and install it beforehand, before the frames leave? In which case, it's a better quality stuff done. It's done quicker for the builder. It doesn't spend another time on another trade to kind of get some stuff done. It's just a faster turnaround. It saves the builder the money in terms of time, helps us to grow our segment. So then that's my thought. Like, how can we go in for incremental penalization, a step further from what we do in our day-to-day life, and make the life of the builder easier and the whole building process faster?
Oh, it's music to my ears because that's something that only last week I was saying to somebody. If I look at 2025, and if there's one thing our fabricators can do is adding the wrap, adding the brace board. That getting it out to site makes such a difference, and it's something that they don't have to invest in huge technology and more equipment. It's something that every fabricator in Australia.
Absolutely, and just a value transfer from one person or one spot to another. For example, like if you are sending your plywood loose to the sites, then if you install it on your wall frame, probably you can charge a little bit more. It saves the builder the time. So it's a saving. It's a win-win situation for you as well as for your builder. So, and as a nail plate and a timber specialist, nail plate manufacturer, timber, whatever you call it, the specialist in timber design, we can certainly facilitate that through our software, through our manufacturing processes. We can help you to kind of grow your business and grow the business for your customers, and leverage the whole industry basically.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Nick, what about you? What do you think for 2025 is something that we can see in our industry, or what you're expecting?
I think following on from what Varun mentioned, what's the buzzword now? MMC?
Oh, yes, modern methods of construction.
Modern methods of construction,
Yes.
and all of these big promises of the government building countless homes. I think that's great and a great initiative. It's not going to suit all fabricators. Some, the ones that want to look at value adding and including different aspects, of the supply chain that they normally wouldn't do. I think that's definitely a good way to go for our industry. But more from my end, I think what we're going to probably see is more competition and more ways to reduce costs, because the cost to build these days is starting to get astronomical. Affordability is definitely, one critical aspect of our construction industry. So I think one of the areas that we're seeing is looking at ways, and again, looking at ways to redesign buildings in a more cost-effective manner, and not sort of following the approach that most consulting engineers do, which is a copy and paste, which often leads to a very, very conservative designs. So, some examples could be, 3 LVL studs supporting a 900 opening. You often see that. And unfortunately, our software, all of our 3 software companies can provide designs, but often what will happen is if a fabricator decides to vary from a design that's already been passed and part of the permit process, it can often get rejected later on during the approval process by the building surveyor. And so that sort of leads to another separate issue where we might have to come in and provide certification, to back up what's been designed through the software. So I think looking at that is we'll probably start helping a lot more with that initial early stages of design, looking at wherever we can to get economies and design solutions in a more cost-effective manner.
Yep. So, David, for you for 2025, is there something that you think we'll start to see a lot more in our industry, or things that will change?
Yeah, I think 2025, I hope it will be quite steady and quite flat because, I know people will be quite optimistic and will be picking up and go up like a rocket. Because I would like to, highlight the one word is efficiency. Because in the end, people would really like to see is the efficiency out of it. So if you can improve your efficiency, surely you can bring other factors down to a certain degree. Like Varun mentioned about the panelization, Nick mentioned about material substitutions. To be honest, this is our day-to-day challenges or day-to-day tasks, even not only for 2024, but for the last maybe 4 or 5 years, we've been facing this kind of items on our table. So all we can try and we can do is to communicate more with the fabricators, especially with those who are a bit more advanced and a bit more forward thinking, because they are the pioneers, if we would like to define them. So help them to go through this new pathway or the new MMC methodologies. And we all both learning, because we haven't done that before. So hopefully we can establish a matured pathway for others who hasn't got the mindset changed yet or who hesitating to change. So demonstrate something it can be done, and hopefully we can improve the efficiency in the end for every people across the board in the whole industry. But there's one opportunity we always would like to have is by realizing that we can create the future as long as we remember where we save the files. Because what I see is there's so many things is reinventing the wheels, believe it or not. So I hope that would be an opportunity for everyone involved in the building chain. Is don't forget you do have a lot of experienced people, not only in knowledge but also in practical. They have massive amount of things saved in their own file. That's the opportunity. Do not reinventing all that. So this is kind of what I would like to predict for 2025.
Thank you very much, David. And it's really important to know Wood Solutions or FWPA are doing have created a new website, and they're going to have a greater capacity for the library to keep materials too, because as an industry, it's really important that we don't have to always keep revisiting what we've done, but let's not forget, because there's so much work that's been done. And I just would like to congratulate the 3 of you and your teams for the outstanding work you've done in the TTAG. So that national TTAG, which is a national technical committee, I think it's been really good, or everyone coming together with timber, with everybody coming together and all you tech heads. And it's really been I've been very proud to see the work that you have been doing for the wider industry. So congratulations to the work you've done. Thank you for everything you've done to support manufacturers and make sure that our industry is the best for offsite prefabricated industries. And in regards to the modern methods of construction, our first podcast in the new year will be about modern methods of construction and the elemental approach, which is about the frame and truss industry and what our 287 plants in Australia can do to address the future modern methods of construction. So thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining me. Have a wonderful Christmas, and I look forward to seeing you all in the new year.
Thank you so much, Kirsten. Thanks for
Thanks,
the
Kirsten.
Merry
opportunity.
Christmas.
Merry
Take care. Merry
Christmas.
Christmas.
Thank you for tuning into this episode of the F&T Time Tech Talk podcast. It's been an insightful discussion packed with valuable expertise, thoughtful perspectives, and a glimpse into the future of the frame and truss industry. We want to thank our incredible guests, Varun, David, and Nick, for sharing their time and knowledge with us, and reiterating the important work the engineers do in supporting our frame and truss manufacturers and their clients. As we wrap up 2024 and look ahead to 2025, we are reminded of the strength and innovation within this industry. From tackling technical challenges to driving sustainability through timber construction, the future is bright for those willing to collaborate and innovate. On behalf of the entire F&T Time team, we wish all our listeners a joyous holiday season filled with relaxation, reflection, and time with loved ones. Here's to new opportunities in the new year of growth and continued success. See you in 2025, and thank you for listening.